Welcome back to the Bubba Show. Todd Bubba Horowitz with my friend Anthem Blanchard from AnthemVault.com, and pretty much of a metals expert. It's and now the crypto expert as well. It's in his genes. It goes back to his dad actually. But so Anthem, we were talking about the different types of economy. So go through your views, okay? Because obviously there's flaws and there's good in both. I know what I think the flaws are. I'd like to hear you go through Keynesian and what you don't like, and then through Western and what you do like, and then let's compare the two. But I'd like to hear your views because obviously they're similar to mine, but maybe a tad different. So let's hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, Keynesians believe that we should have a central bank, and namely because you need to have a central bank in order for there to be lots of government spending, because the government needs a way to create its own currency that it can spend. And so, that's basically, the notion is all built on the idea that government knows best, and a centralized, group of individuals knows best what to do for the rest of the collective, basically, or the rest of, the society. So that, in my opinion, is Keynesianism in a nutshell. And then on the opposite side, you have the Austrian school. And on the Austrian side, they say, well, best not to have any central bank, because if you do have a central bank, it's always known that governments are going to keep spending and go out of control, and that irrespective of any kind of independence that's ever stated, invariably there's always political pressure that a government will put on a central bank in order to create policies that are beneficial to that administration. So, or at least make the administration look good, help create jobs. That's the name of the game. So to keep elected and to keep stature. So, that's, I think, in a nutshell, the two different schools of thought. So, Austrians believe that individuals and the freest markets as possible, that those will ultimately have the best, most rational price setting, and people will be able to afford more, and they'll have a better quality of living, standard of living. It fosters innovation and all of these things in order to keep prices up and margins up, and it's a very good thing. And people that are Keynesianists think that, well, we don't need any of that innovation stuff because the government will just come in and they'll just figure it out. And we just need to have some central bank that can create a lot of money and currency, whatever, that we can buy stuff with. The government can buy stuff with to make it better and to hand it out as it wants to different people. Kind of in a nutshell, I think, how to describe Keynesianism. So hopefully that kind of helps to really, really simplify it. But in a nutshell, I think it's pretty much it.
Now, one group believes on the supply model, and one group works off the demand model. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, in essence, where you have on the Keynesian side, right, where they believe that the more you consume, the more you buy through some magical way to buy it. Who knows where you get it from, but you just keep buying. Eventually one day, maybe you have to pay something for all that you bought, but, think about that later. That's kind of the mentality of the Keynesianists, while with the Austrians, it's, it's all savings. So, savings, with more savings, and you can build more things, you can build better things, you can make things better, you can make things more efficient, you can make things more affordable for people to buy, you can then sell more, those people can buy more, and then you can make more things that people can then enjoy. And that's basically the Austrian, the savings mentality model, I think, in a nutshell.
Right, and so for as far as deflation, Austrians believe deflation is good, and Keynesians believe deflation is bad. Correct?
Right. So you kind of just depends, I think, on in terms of you're talking about like a what I would call a more modern definition of inflation, of a price deflation. So if prices go down, it's price deflation. Prices go up, it's price inflation. So right, exactly. Well, because Austrians believe that the money supply should basically be in equilibrium with the market and not have a central bank that basically dictates what the money supply should be. And so, therefore, in that standpoint, because you're not going to have some outside force of the government, at least, going in there, interjecting more money into the supply, that all of a sudden, things are not going to get more expensive. So because with technology and innovation, things should get cheaper over time, right? It gets easier for us to do things. So technology makes it easier. So things should get cheaper over time. It shouldn't get more expensive.
So let's tie this now to to where we are now, right? We've got the Hayek, we've got Bitcoin. That was the first big popular would you call it, electronic or cryptocurrency, right?
Yeah, and it's exactly a cryptocurrency, ledger, decentralized ledger, cryptocurrency, way to keep track of things, way to move things around that no one else can screw around with, and is done really cheaply. Okay, now, in your mind, before I get your positives, because listen, I know you like it, and I don't disagree. I've never thought that it wasn't a good product. I have some concerns, which we'll talk about, but it's got no Fed intervention, right? It's strictly a Udemy purchase with nobody involving, and it trades out of the market. Now, when we look at the market, okay, what do you make of it, and why are you so confident that it can't be somewhat manipulated? Well, one of the reasons that I think makes it difficult to be manipulated is just because of whose hands it's in, and so one of the issues that people will bring up with the gold market, for example, is that the COMEX and the leverage markets really are the price discovery mechanisms right now, at least for the metals markets, and for the foreseeable future right now, at least. There's some obviously big asterisks there that you can talk to a lot more than I can intelligently, but that's one of those things. So I think that really I think I lost my train of thought.
That's all right. Let me help you out with where I'm going with it, and it's all cool. Yeah. So here's my point. Look, I have no problem. Here's one thing I learned in my years. So I've been trading for 36 years. Okay, I've been trading, and the one thing I learned in the 36 years is that no matter what I trade, it doesn't really matter, but it has to be in a market that, number one, is liquid, okay, that I can trade in, and number two, it has to be backed by somebody, okay, not a person, but some exchange. For example, I trade at I'm a member of now the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, so I know if I put $1 million in cash in the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and I make a trade, okay, and I make $10 million, I know I'm getting paid. I know the money is guaranteed and backed by them, okay, and that's their charter and that's their deal, and I know that I'm never going to have to worry about getting paid. Whereas if I go into an illiquid market, or if I go into a market like let's use the Forex market, okay, Forex, some houses have a backing, but most are the Wild West, or even more prevalent today, binary options. Okay, binary options that through Europe are not exchange backed. So you are playing in the Wild West. So I could blow myself out. I could make $1 gazillion, but there's no guarantee that I'll ever get paid the money. So when I always look at things is I say, well, I need to have an exchange that's backed. Now again, I'm going to talk more about this when we come back, but I mean, I get the fiat currency deal, because I'm always on the fence, right, with this whole subject, because I've got, little birdies whispering in both sides of my head, and, I'm not an economist myself, so I don't really know the right answer, but I do know one thing, that when you trade, for example, on the pink sheets, if you remember the movie The Wolf of Wall Street, when there's no liquidity and there's no market, those markets are easily manipulated by stronger hands, as we saw even in a regulated market, as we saw by the Hunt brothers when they manipulated the price of silver. But you see, what happened there is that the exchange said the exchange offered the Hunt brothers an out. They said, "Look, we will give you X amount of dollars for you to go away because you're tying up the exchange. You're trying to corner the silver market, and you are just locking the doors. But the problem is that you have no exit. If you do not allow the free flow of silver again, you're going to be out of business." And the Hunt brothers basically said, "Well, go screw yourself. We don't care. We're going to take our chances." Okay. And of course, what did the Chicago Board of Trade do? They said, "Okay, liquidation only." Well, everybody knew they could only sell, so the markets broke down because they would not provide liquidity. They tried to manipulate the market, which can be done. So we're going to talk more about this. I'm sorry, I rambled on a little bit. That was great. No, I appreciate you helping to cover me there, Bubba. That was excellent. Thank you. So, I want to talk more about this because this is my concern. I'm gonna, me, I'm pretty transparent when it comes to my opinion. I don't hold back on what I think. But this is the Bubba Show. Todd Bubba Horowitz. I'm with my friend Anthem Blanchard from AnthemVault.com. You got to look him up, and you got to check his website out. And he developed the Hayek, which is a great new product. He's got cryptocurrencies. He is the expert. He is the guy that I go to when I want to talk about this stuff because he is a known expert, not just my expert. He's a known expert. So check him out, Anthem at AnthemVault.com. Anthem, this is the Bubba Show. Todd Bubba Horowitz. We'll be right back after the break. The Bubba Show.